Hey there, and welcome to Drug Calcs Made Easy. I'll be your host, Andrew. We're doing this yet again. Today we're going to be covering the Parkland burn formula. Parkland burn formula. I love the Parkland burn formula because it's so simple. A lot of people seem to be intimidated by these questions just because they forget the simple steps involved with it. So let's get on with the question that we're going to have. The question is, you are treating an adult male with second and third degree burns covering his anterior head, anterior torso, and both anterior arms. You estimate his weight to be 120 kilograms. Your partner sets you up with 2 bilateral large bore IV lines running normal saline. Then your partner asks you what rate each IV should be set at to administer the correct amount of fluid. Your reply is, okay, so like always, we have to figure out what the question is asking us. If you'll look, the question is asking you what the rate is for each IV. Remember, you have 2 IVs. So the first thing you have to remember is whatever answer you get, you have to divide it in half because you have 2 IVs. Alright? The first thing you have to figure out is the formula. The Parkland burn formula is quite simply, and I apologize for the glare from my fluorescent light. The Parkland burn formula is the patient's weight in kilograms times the body surface area burned, and you can't even see that. There you go, times the body surface area burned times 4. Okay? Now what you have to remember is half of this fluid is given in the first 8 hours, and half of the fluid is given in the remaining 16 hours. Okay? So keep that in mind whenever you're doing these questions, is half the fluid gets given in the first 8 hours, half the fluid is given in the last 16 hours. That is going to play a factor in this, okay? So, let's go back to our question. Next thing we have to know is, well, how much of his body is burned. And you can see right here, it says covering his anterior head, anterior torso, and both anterior arms. Well, we know that the head equals 9, right? The chest equals 18, and the arms are 9 each, okay? Now here's where you would make a mistake. You would add all of these up and you come up with a number, but remember the question says anterior head, anterior torso, and anterior arms, implying that only half of his head is burned, only half of his torso, only half of each arm is burned. However, the entire chest is burned. That was a little trick there. If you divided that to 18 in half, you would have made a mistake. Alright, so really, the body surface area for this patient in question is going to be 4.5 because it's his head, right? The entire chest, so we have 18. And then each whole arm is worth 9. So that would be 4.5 apiece. Both anterior arms is going to be a total of 9. So let's work out that we have 4.5 plus 18 plus 9 gives us a body surface area of 31.5. Okie dokie. So, plugging this back into our question, his weight is 120 kilograms. See, I was nice and gave you the weight in kilograms. I didn't make you divide that out. All right. So the formula is the weight in kilograms. So it's going to be kilograms times body surface area times 4. Okay, is the total fluid needed. Okay. All right. So the kilograms is going to be 120 because I gave you that in the question. Body surface area is going to be 31.5. times 4. So we do that math. Okay, and that's going to equal 15,120 milliliters of fluid over 24 hours. Okay? Remember, however, that with the Parkland formula, half of the fluid is given in 8 hours. Since we are doing acute care on this patient, this is an EMS related question, we're going to focus on the first 8 hours here to set our administration rate. Alright, so let me erase that. Okay, so we have 15,120. We're going to divide that in half to give us 7,560 mLs over 8 hours. Okay? So you can see where this is going, right? Now, this is 7,560 milliliters over 8 hours. So what we're going to do is take that 7,560 divided by 8, right? That's going to give us 945 milliliters per hour. How cool is that? Alright, one more step forward. We'll take that and divide it by 60 because there are 60 minutes per hour, which is going to give us 15.75 milliliters per minute. Alright, follow me so far? And remember, you have 2 IVs, so divide that by 2. And it's going to be 7.87, or round it up to 8 milliliters per minute per IV. Okay? That's one way we can do this. Let's just do a question. Let's say you had a 100 kilogram patient. Okay? Man, that light's tricky. I'm going to have to do something different. There we go. Let's say you had a 100 kilogram patient who was burned over 20% of his body. Okay? How much total fluid? Alright? And the way we figure that up is 100 times 20 times 4, which is going to give us 8,000 milliliters. Okay? If the question said, well, how much do you give him in the first 8 hours? Well, you know that in the first 8 hours, you're going to divide that in half. And so he'll get 4,000 cc's in the first 8 hours. Alright? In the last 16 hours, he will get the other 4,000. Now, what you have to be careful is on questions which ask you for information pertaining to the first 8 hours or the last 16 hours, because of course you're going to divide differently. For example, if the question was referring to the last 16 hours, I need to get a drip rate, I would of course need to take this 4,000 and divide it by 16 to come up with my cc's per hour, which is actually 250 for those of y'all keeping track at home, divided by 60 again, and it's going to be 4.16 milliliters per minute. Alright, so I hope this helps you out. By all means, email me if you have any questions. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Again, welcome to Low Budget Drug Calcs. I hope you enjoyed it. Just have a nice day.